Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth. The image that you're looking at on your screen, this is just a quick article, a couple precepts on it, just bringing out America's dark history. And those are bisons. I believe, bisons that were slaughtered, and you can see it's so many of them, thousands and thousands of them. Well, actually, they say it was millions of them slaughtered. And I'm just going to go straight into it and just read it to bring out the dark history of America and some of the key things that it says in this article. It says the most famous photograph of bison. This is a very famous photograph, and a lot of brothers have seen it and shared it and made lessons on it. It says extermination of a grizzly image of a mountain of bison skulls. So this is a mountain full, right? It says it was taken outside Michigan Carbon Works in Rogueville, Michigan in 1892. So 1892, you're looking at 100 years to 1992. You're looking at another 10 years to what's that? 2002 all the way to 2022. So we're looking at, like, if I'm not off, 120 something years or something like that, close to that, if I'm not off, something like that, man. I ain't finna go really all the way into 120, 130, yep, 130 years, right? It says, so that's not that long ago, man. So that means that, like, your my great grandma, the age I am, my great grandma, if she was still alive, she'd be close to her 90s right now. So her mom, maybe her mother's mother, so not my great, but my great 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 grandmother would have been around during this time, if I'm correct. It says at the close of the 18th century, there were between 30 and 60 million bisons on the continent. There's no way that they would have counted all of them. So it's probably closer to that 60 million bison mark, or maybe even more. It says by the time of this photograph, that population was reduced to only 456, 400, from 60 mil or more, really, down to 456 wild bisons, and that was during the time of this photograph. This is crazy, man. It says the increased colonization of the West led to a large-scale slaughter of bisons. The arrival of white settlers, the Edomites, hunters, with their weapons, because they had the gun and they had the Gallican gun, or whatever, the machine gun that spin around in a circle, and it got a whole bunch of different barrels where the bullets come out and it spin around in a circle, and it's super fast. I forgot what they call it, but I know they have it on helicopters, a Gatling gun or something like that, right? It says in the machine gun, the development of the machine gun over time. It says with their weapons, as well as growing market demand for hide and bones, instead of killing, most herds were exterminated between 1850 and the late 1870s. Most herds, and the thing is, yeah, they were using it for bones, the meat, eating it for food and different things to feed these Edomite settlers. But even bigger than that, they were exterminating a lot of these bisons just so the Gadites wouldn't have food, just so they could move population of the Native Americans so they wouldn't have a food line, because a lot of Native American tribes survived off this. So it was like a war thing, it was like an evil, cold-hearted destruction way to win war too at the same time, and they don't speak about that. It says this photograph shows the massive scale of this destruction. A man-made mountain emerging from the image, grassy foreground, a pile of bones as appears part of the landscape. The image can be read as an example of what Canadian photograph something has called manufactured landscape. What was taken in Prairie Land to make this manufactured landscape of Michigan. It says the Roeville photograph is also used to illustrate the scale of bison extermination. It appears in conversation, publications, magazines, films, recent protest memes. The photograph has become an icon of this animal slaughter. And Esau, see, he ain't got no heart. He don't care about this. He's just wicked. It says the mound of skulls also indicate the abundance of bison life. But what was life on the prairies like before bison extermination? What relationship did bison have before their death? So it just keeps going into it, but it's just pretty much showing that, and these are clean food, clean animal to eat. But it just shows you how wicked Esau is, because it's not just the bisons that's Esau has exterminated. It's all type of animals. It's really all the animals on earth are going damn near exterminated and extinct because of Esau, because of what they do to the sky with all the pollution, with the birds, and then the oceans, following Esau and Babylon the great horror, right? Everybody's taking all the you got all the shrimp, the lobster, the crab, and everything being snatched out the oceans, and that's making the oceans worser and dirtier, because those animals are bottom feeders. They're like filters for the ocean. That's why the Lord said those animals were unclean and for us not to eat them. So now you got everybody following this man, and they're eating all that stuff. So now there's no natural filter in the water, and the waters are dirty. And they're dumping oil, they're dumping trash, plastic all into the waters, man. That's why this is Job 9. Verse 24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So who is the wicked? Well, we see this says right here, the arrival of white settlers. We know those, that goes back to Esau, the Edomites. That's who the wicked is. That's who covered the faces of the judges. That's who gave you the image of Jesus Christ that you see if you go on Google and type in Jesus Christ, because that's their image. That's the one that told you the Father was a so-called white man. The Jesus Christ was a so-called white man. All the prophets were so-called white men. The Egyptians were so-called white men. They covered the face of the judges thereof, and then they covered it with their face. It says, if not, where and who is he? So it's like a rhetorical question. Like, come on, you know who he is, right? And if you jump back to Proverbs chapter 29, that goes perfectly with this article. It says, verse 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And this caused people to mourn. A lot of people mourned during this time when they were doing this shit. They're called the Native Americans, which are the Gadites, which are Israelites, the Lord's chosen people, so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Hispanic, man, of those descent. But there is a whole 12-tribe chart. So they were mourning when it extermination of bison, 60 million plus bisons being exterminated in such a short time, because they used, and see, the Native Americans knew how to balance. They knew how to eat the bisons, but balance. They kept some of the law, statutes, and commandments, so they could have some tribes here and there could have been keeping a Sabbath day, a Sabbath of the land. They knew not to overdo it, just to make a mountain of skulls. They knew not to do nothing wicked like that. So there was a balance, right? But then Esau came over here, the wicked came over here, and then you have what you have today, which is mystery Babylon, which is America, which is going to be destroyed. This is Second Thessalonians. I remember this one. Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 3 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So this is why we're bringing out this history and this dark history of America and who was doing these wicked things. Why? Because this man is being revealed, the son of perdition. This is a very wicked thing to do, and it fits Esau to a T. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. So he's not thinking about the Lord like, let's not go exterminate all the bisons on the continent, because the Lord put them here for a reason, Let's do everything in balance, Then what's the saying? It says a false balance is an abomination. You see what I'm saying? They're not thinking of the Lord. It says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God. So they're thinking that they're the Lord, that they could do as they please, or that is worship. So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, meaning he's sitting on high. You see the dude on the mountain? That's Esau's spirit. He want to sit on high and showing himself that he is God. And they did that literally with the image of Jesus Christ, with the image. If you type in Paul, if you type in John the Baptist, if you type in Moses, if you type in Jesus Christ, if you type in God online right now, go do it online, all white men are going to pop up, because he showed himself as God, but he's not God. He's actually the son of perdition. He's the wicked, you know. And this is just more evidence going against that, just to show you and bring out the history. Because right now he's about to be judged. Right now he's on trial and he's being found guilty, and he's about to be judged when the Lord returns. So with that, we're going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.